October 20th, 2025. Andre is an engineer at Amazon Web Services. Tonight, he's working the night shift, monitoring one of the largest software systems in the world, when he notices something unusual in the logs. He can't make sense of it right away, so he starts digging further. Unbeknownst to him, a bug, which had been hidden inside a routine program, has just triggered a DNS update, which is now copying itself to this URL. In about 3 minutes, one of the largest and costliest global internet outages in history is about to begin.
Here's the thing I don't understand. The company is worth billions.
Yes.
Each year it loses more money than it lost the year before. The company's never made a profit.
That's right.
When Jeff Bezos started Amazon in the early 2000s, everyone just thought of them as a bookstore. And 20 years later, most people still see that. They just think Amazon's an online retailer. But this is the thing. In the early 2000s, Amazon was running into a really unique issue. At this time, they were growing rapidly, like faster than any other company at the time, and their infrastructure couldn't handle it.
We are a famously unprofitable company,
Right.
and we are investing in the future. It's not, which isn't unusual. Companies have done this before. What's a little surprising about Amazon.com is the scale which we're doing it. We're doing it in a big way.
I see. So you just keep reinvesting.
We're reinvesting.
Now,
So their engineers did something revolutionary. They built infrastructure that can massively scale instantly. And this idea was so valuable that Amazon decided to sell it to other companies. Their goal was to create infrastructure that, I quote, is so easy that even a kid in a college dorm can access it instantly. And the result? It was an instant hit. Now today, AWS doesn't just power Amazon. When you stream Netflix, listen to Spotify, order from McDonald's like the fat ass you are, you're still using AWS. They literally power 32% of the applications we use every day. And with that, they generate over $80 billion in annual revenue. So obviously at this scale, Amazon outgrew its first data center in North Virginia that they had since the early 2000s. Now, Amazon has many data centers that are spread all over the world so that they're closest to their customers. And these are called availability zones. Now, because US East 1, that's what the data center in North Virginia was called, because that was Amazon's first data center, it still kind of became like the control room, if you will, for AWS as a whole. This basically means that it runs very critical services like IAM and Route 53, which handles DNS. Those services still originate in US East 1, and then they propagate out to all those other availability zones. The way they design this will soon prove to be catastrophic. 2:48 a.m. Inside a service called DynamoDB, two automated systems are working the night shift. Think of them as like digital janitors. They're called the DNS planner and the DNS enactor. DNS is simply a virtual address book. It translates the domain names that humans prefer into the IP addresses that computers can read. So in this case, the DNS planner's job is simple. Figure out which servers handle traffic from what domain. The DNS enactor's job is even simpler. Take those plans and make them happen. But this morning, something's different. The first enactor starts updating records, but hits an unexpected delay. Meanwhile, the DNS planner keeps creating newer and newer plans, and a second enactor picks up the latest plan and starts applying the changes. This is what's called a race condition, and it happens when two or more systems that have access to the same data try updating that data at the exact same time. And in AWS's case, this error proved to be catastrophic. The bug instantly deleted all IP addresses pointing to DynamoDB, and this effect immediately cascaded out to the entire AWS network. Within seconds, millions started experiencing issues. Services like Snapchat, Netflix, Disney Plus, and Fortnite go offline. From there, it wreaks particular damage on the Bank of Scotland, Coinbase, and Robinhood, where users are left locked out of their accounts, unable to react to the changes in markets. Amazon's own e-commerce platform wasn't spared either, with reports that the company was losing $72 million per hour that the site was down. This outage even prevented smart bed customers from getting sleep, and Elon Musk even chimed in as well, as he raised concerns about why the Signal app was down from the AWS outage, even though they were supposed to be privacy focused. Meanwhile, back inside AWS, it's chaos. At this point, AWS has been down globally for almost 5 hours. They've assembled what they call their SEV1 response team. It's their most senior engineers pulled from their beds across 3 different time zones. At this point, the engineers had traced the issue to a race condition that happened in their DNS automation. But knowing what broke is only half the battle. The engineers faced a nightmare scenario. They had to manually rebuild those DNS records while those same services were trying to query those DNS records that didn't even exist. This was made only worse by the fact that this was spread across multiple availability zones and different data was cached in different places. However, at 9:24 a.m., they managed to restore the main DynamoDB endpoint. Even though DNS was fixed, the outage didn't magically stop. There was a massive pileup of failed requests that were now retrying continuously. This put particular strain on EC2 and their network load balancer. Each of these systems had to clear its error queues, restart failed processes, and then sync with databases that had been frozen for hours now. And this was happening across the world in different availability zones with a backlog of billions of requests. And it wouldn't be until the next day that AWS had fully recovered. In total, the estimated damages are said to exceed $1.1 billion. In the immediate aftermath of the outage, AWS faced heavy criticism. They responded by putting out an apology to their customers and those affected by the outage. However, AWS wasn't let off the hook that easy. This event had gone global, and it renewed the discussion amongst lawmakers to break up big tech. Senator Elizabeth Warren stated that a single point of failure shouldn't be able to take down half the internet. And this wasn't just something that was happening in the United States. This outage had rippled across over 60 countries, and the EU took notice. Now, what happens next is really only speculation on my part, but I think we're going to start seeing a slow shift of companies at least moving a lot of their infrastructure to multiple cloud providers to minimize this risk. Now, this outage should be a wake-up call. We've created a digital house of cards, if you will, where a single DNS error in a data center in North Virginia can cause the internet to come crumbling down. It can shut down our banks, our governments, and the services we all use every day and rely on. And it's actually happening again. Right now, as I'm recording this, Microsoft Azure is experiencing a global outage affecting Xbox, Microsoft products, United Airlines, and a few other companies. And the cause is actually the exact same as AWS, which is currently a DNS failure. Now today, a few companies literally have the power to turn off the internet with a flip of a switch, and it causes our economy to grind to a halt. Now, whether this was by accident or by design, the internet had started out with the goal of being decentralized. Instead, now a handful of corporations have the power to literally turn off the internet for the entire world. And it's scary to think, but what happens if they ever use this power to do so?